Welcome in from the Milwaukee Admirals office. I'm Aaron Sims, the play-by-play announcer, and we're live with Admirals great Mark Van Gilder, a leader in games played with 383, the most games in Admirals AHL history. He's back for the summer. His career is continuing. Had a great year last year. If you have a question, and we've been taking questions on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. If you have a question for Mark Van Gilder, go to the Admirals Facebook page and type it in there, and we'll get to it as soon as we can. But Mark, first off, it's always great to see you.
Good to be back. New offices.
Yeah.
This is looking great.
It's a lot different, isn't it?
It is.
And then the new building coming next year.
Yeah. Things are changing.
It really is. But for you, big changes last year. You end up playing in Italy. Basically, you lived in Germany almost, though. Explain what that was like going over there.
It was an awesome experience. We were up almost in Austria, where we were actually used to be Austria before one of those world wars. The U.S. redrew that line for.
Okay.
But it was beautiful up in the mountains. They spoke German and Italian where we were in our town called Ritten, up in the mountains. So it was beautiful. The food was amazing. The weather was amazing. We had a good team. Me and my wife had a great time.
How do you get over there? And I know by plane, but how did you end up playing for this club?
That's actually a good question. Well, yeah. My agent has a pretty good relationship with Thomas Rottensteiner, the president there.
Okay.
And they've had a good team for a number of years now. So, I mean, I talked to the GM. I talked to people about, the team, about the village, basically, and I heard nothing but good things. Great place to ski, eat, play, and do everything. So
I think I told you this last year right before you left. I'm sort of envious, and I shouldn't be. That's an awful emotion, but when guys get the chance to work overseas, and you get to come back, you kind of get the best of both worlds. You see the world on somebody else's dime and come back, and you guys got to see the world a little bit.
It's amazing. We're pretty. I mean, I thought I was spoiled here. I was spoiled here, but to be able to do this, it's not a lot of people that can say, "Oh, maybe I want to live here for a year and live here," and they take care of this. They put you up in a apartment, give you a car, stuff like that. It's amazing.
And we should stress too, like with breaks for world championships and all of that, you get a lot of time. Camp starts early, and you guys work hard, but you also get some vacation. So
it's a different world. It's a different world over there. We had 2 breaks. Christmas break here is like, all right, guys, see you tomorrow night.
Exactly.
You go home, you're back before you even know it.
Yep.
We had 2 long breaks, not even counting Christmas, where we were able to get out to Barcelona and Nice. We got up to Austria a couple times, Germany for Oktoberfest.
So is that all train?
Some train, some driving the little car we had, and also some flights. Flights are so cheap over there. You fly to Barcelona for almost nothing. So
very cool. Very cool. Your team won the championship as well.
Yes, yeah. We had a pretty good squad this year, so it was fun.
Good league?
Yeah, pretty good hockey. Talented. We were spoiled where I was. It wasn't the American League, of course, a great league here, but we were spoiled on my team to have really good Italians, really good imports, and good staff, good everything. So.
Very good. Let's get to some of these questions here. Brent on Facebook wants to know, what was your hockey path?
My hockey path? Oh my gosh, we're going to need at least 4 hours for that.
Everybody sit back,
My path was stick handle and shoot pucks every day in the garage, play roller hockey with my friends. Because I wasn't a great player when I was young.
Out in the street, or did you have to go to
tennis courts? We found were the best place because it was so smooth.
It's flat,
Yeah, so whistle a couple pucks past the tennis players for 5 minutes, and suddenly the court's yours. I had a great group of friends that I was able to just kind of improve with and work on our skills and stuff like that. My high school coach was Steve Serdich, who had 1 million points in college at Colorado College. His boys I played with, Marty and Mike, were
Marty's a Holt Baker winner.
Yeah, just a great influence on me. Great people, but also really good players, and they worked at the game so hard. So I learned from them. I joked about this because I've been doing the Matt Cullen stick handling video that he made up in Moorhead.
Yeah.
I don't know, he probably made it when he was 15, 16 years old, just dribbling through with this little wiffle ball, tennis ball. I did that for years. I still do it now in the off season. So my path has been work hard because I'm not the most skilled. I don't skate very well. not that strong. So just get better at everything you possibly can. Work on stick handling, work on shooting, work on skating.
But was hockey your first love? Because you were
Oh,
all
yeah.
state in like every sport, and you were the athlete of the year in the greater St. Paul metro area when you were a
Yeah.
senior in high school. I mean, was hockey though the love?
Yeah, hockey
Was it your best sport?
It's hard to tell for me. Lacrosse was still pretty new
Yeah, it
in
was.
Minnesota.
It was.
So I was lucky enough to play in the Vail Shootout with Team Minnesota in Colorado, and when I got there, you realize just how good like the East Coast kids are. Like Colorado had a really good team.
Yeah.
Ohio had a really good team.
I gotta imagine like Syracuse,
Right,
area,
yeah.
that, Western New York kind of
Yes.
place, right?
So like once I left Minnesota, the competition got really good, and Minnesota lacrosse has come a long way. But it was pretty young when I was there. And football, I mean, I don't know. I miss playing football. That was a great time. Like, more like the atmosphere as much as the game. Like all your buddies are there. Like everyone comes on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Under the lights. Like that was great.
Did you like football practice?
Nobody likes.
Nobody likes exactly. I was gonna say I hate football practice.
Not a lot of guys like hockey practice, but that's fun compared to football practice.
Right. Exactly.
So of course that has something to do with it, but hockey was always what I loved.
Well, when you end up having to go to the USHL. You didn't have any offers to play college anymore,
Right.
did you?
No, when I graduated high school, I had no offers to play college, so I was like, okay, USHL is a great junior league.
Yes,
So
it is.
okay, this is awesome. I'll hopefully a year, maybe two if I have to, which I end up needing 2 years. And then I was lucky enough to go to Notre Dame, which is a crazy kind of story as well. That assistant coach Andy Slaggert would tell you he came to watch other guys play that had already committed to Notre Dame. I happened to play really well, and a couple of weeks later I was going to
It's
Notre
a
Dame.
common story though, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's
you
crazy.
Hear more and more people say something like
Yeah,
that.
you hear that story when you're there, but before it happens to you, you're like, this never happens.
Right, exactly.
That's crap. That's
Exactly.
not, but then all of a sudden it does, and
Well, Dave Poulin
yeah,
was the head coach when you
Yes.
were recruited.
Yeah.
Dave Poulin told me years ago after he left Notre Dame and he was
Mhm.
working for the Maple Leafs, I think,
Mhm.
and he was here in Milwaukee at a game, and I was speaking to him, and he brought your name up, and he says he's the guy that if you watch him, he'll grow on you so much that you can't avoid watching him.
yeah.
And
So
that's pretty nice.
at
compliment.
first glance, I look terrible, but if you watch me long enough, yeah. I've heard a lot of my own coaches say that because I'm not like really flashy. Like you see a guy in practice, just like his jersey's blown in the wind.
Right,
you know,
right. He's going bar down on every
time.
shot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not me. But I like to think I get the job done. And Coach Poulin, it's funny because the first time he saw me play in juniors, I think I had a goal in the late in the third to tie. I had a goal in overtime, and I think I played pretty well against Toronto when he was in the building. So I might need to hire him to just follow me around. 'Cause
There you go.
My good luck charm.
There
Great
you
guy
go.
too.
Brian on Twitter says, "Be honest," and we may have just answered
Uh-oh.
this. Be honest. Were you dominant in Pee Wee hockey?
No, I wasn't. I can tell you who was dominant on my team. Like the Surdich brothers were dominant.
Sure.
Colin Cody scored a lot of goals. Jeff Fearing was really good. All these guys were awesome Pee Wee players. That's kind of when I started to, you play with good players long enough,
Yeah.
you improve.
Yeah.
I think it wasn't until high school till I kind of started to, make a bigger impact on the game.
Sure. Jordan on Instagram asks, "What was your favorite memory from playing at Notre Dame?"
Good question, Jordan. Frozen Four, Michigan,
Sure.
overtime win, definitely. Packed Pepsi Center. I don't know what it's called now. Still, probably.
I think it probably
Oh,
is.
nice.
Yeah, out in Denver.
Yeah, full building. Everyone, everyone's there. 5-4 overtime.
Everyone is there,
Yeah.
but there are so many recognizable. Ryan Thang.
Yes,
There were a lot
yeah.
of guys that people would know.
Right.
that played on
Even
that
from the
club.
Michigan team was awesome.
Yeah.
That team was really good. Callie Ritterwald's had an awesome career in Europe.
Mhm.
Scored game-winning goal as a freshman. That was fun.
Yeah.
Fun time.
Jacob on Instagram, "What is your favorite memory playing for the Admirals?"
On ice, I would say probably overtime winner against Texas.
That would work.
Game 6 at home. One of the best series I've
Double
ever been a
overtime
part of.
winner.
Yes. That was an awesome series. Back and forth, overtime. That was a really good Texas.
Was that the game after the Admirals were in Texas was it Game 5 that Gabriel Bork scored with a second left?
1 second left, and
Yeah.
we scored in overtime. The game after, they scored with 20 seconds left to tie it.
Right.
It's funny because I can't remember. I take a class in school. I can't remember anything. I remember every detail about this series.
Yeah.
It was an awesome series.
But I look back, and for me, this isn't about me, but there are a few things that I remember. Because I mean, there are highlights certainly, but it's kind of like a ticker tape. It just goes through, but that's a series that it was so close, and Texas was awfully good, and I think they all thought they had our number. They had the Admirals' number because they were kind of stumbling going in, and Nashville was in the playoffs and didn't have the guys and all of that stuff, right?
Yes, exactly. And it's funny because I remember the exact play that Ryan Thang made an unbelievable play, like picking that guy's pocket, getting to the net. So on ice, that's for sure my best moment. Off ice, I'd say 2013. Charlie Larson karaoke, Sir Mix-a-Lot. One of the best moments I've ever seen in my life, period. But that was awesome.
There you go.
So those are my two, on ice and off.
There you go. Charlie writes, you are the Admirals leader for most games in the AHL era. How does that make you feel?
Not me. I didn't say it.
Different Charlie, yeah.
That's a tough question. You said Admirals great, which is kind of funny to me because most games played in the American League means to me that I was not good enough for longer than anyone else in the history
The
of
old
the
saying,
organization.
nobody wants to be the home run leader in minor league baseball.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess it's great for me just because the other guys that have played here for so long, Scott Ford, one of my friends and former coaches, Mike McNeil is a Notre Dame guy.
Yeah.
So it's just like, to me, it's such a great place to play that's why I think that's meaningful to me.
You know, you're traveling a little bit now in your career, but to stay in one place in this league for as long as for 3 years is remarkable. Let alone for the 7 that you parts of 7.
That's crazy. I thought I was in school forever, 4 years, and then I was here for almost twice as long.
Yeah.
But when you find a place that fits with good people, why leave? So.
Jeff emails, how are the Admirals fans compared to fans in Italy?
That's a good question. The fans over there are just, it's a lot different. They just sing most of the time.
Yeah.
A lot of singing, a lot of drum banging over there.
On their feet all the time, I'm assuming?
A lot of that. It depends though, like, I don't know, it depends, like, if I feel like over here is in Milwaukee, there's a lot more reaction to like the average play, you know, the little things, like see a lot of the little things. Where over there, it's kind of more of a constant stream of noise and singing and drums banging, and whistling when they don't like something. So I think it's a little different. It was actually kind of an adjustment to me. Like I had like a good scoring chance, missed the net, and I was waiting for the from the crowd, but they're just singing along, and nothing happened.
Does it become white noise after a while?
A little, yeah, it does. In some buildings, especially where it's just constant.
Yeah.
So,
Hard to tune out when you go on the road, and you guys are the best team over there.
Yeah.
Is it hard to tune it out when you go somewhere?
Sometimes.
Does it get vicious? Like in college, you may go to the penalty box, and say you're playing at North Dakota, those people are all over you, and they know everything about your family, and this league as well.
I don't know if it got vicious, because I didn't speak the language, thankfully. But it's funny because the buildings are so small, like, you can almost have a conversation with the fans. It's not like the Bradley Center, like, you can have your friends in the crowd here and not know that they're even there.
Sure.
But there, you can kind of see a lot more people because the buildings are so much smaller.
Dave asks, what do you think of the Admirals' new logo?
It's kind of growing on me.
Yeah.
At first, I thought it was terrible. I'm like, that is hideous. What is Charlie thinking? It's all his fault, clearly. But, no, it's kind of growing on me. I like it, and I had a great year with it, so, yeah.
That's what matters, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
As long as it gets W's.
Yeah, exactly. At Scouter715 on Twitter says, how is the play style different in the American League versus Europe?
Yeah, much different. The rinks over there are big. You play in the Olympic-sized sheet, so it's just harder to line guys up, and it's less physical, not because there's no hitting, but there's just more space. So like,
how much hitting was there? Because you had a handful of North Americans. Do you see that those guys are going more for hits, or how hard is it to change your style?
you have guys that, like, we had a defenseman who was kind of the stay-at-home defensive defenseman, and he would lay guys out, like, pretty consistently. But, like, he's been doing that his whole life, his whole career. The guys over there grew up on the big sheet, and it's more of a puck possession game. So, like, the games are physical to an extent, but nothing like, Rockford, Milwaukee on a Sunday after, end of a 3-3. It's just not. You just can't hit that much because there's more space.
Sure.
So it's more of a puck possession, turn back instead of, it's hard to get the puck back as well.
Yep.
So less dumping and chasing, or turning back and firing it back to your D and regrouping.
If you're just joining us, we're talking with Admirals all-time AHL games leader Mark Van Gilder, live on MilwaukeeAdmirals.com and on the Admirals page on Facebook. If you have a question for Mark, you can type it in on Facebook as we go along here. Well, let's keep them going here. Nate on Twitter, the biggest challenge about playing overseas?
Let's see here. The officiating.
Really? Well, does that have to do
was
with language, or is it?
A little bit, actually. A couple times, I didn't know if I was, the first game, I didn't know if I was supposed to have my stick down, taking the face off. The ref was saying something to me. I'm not sure what he was saying.
He's speaking Italian or German or
he was
some
speaking
amalgamation.
Italian, and I didn't know what he was saying, and then he kicked me out. So I think what he was telling me was, put your stick down. But what I heard was, hey, what's going on? Like, so...
Right.
And also, like, the fans really get on the officials over there. Like,
Really?
More so than here. It is.
That's crazy.
It's rough. So sometimes the officials react to the crowd.
So, how old are the officials? Do people get into that field over there? Because I know here it's a major deal to attract young people to become officials. Isn't that? I got to imagine it's really difficult.
Yeah, it's a wide gap of age over there, but I never appreciated American League officials until they went over there.
You heard it. You heard it right here.
But I mean, they're doing their best over there.
Right.
But sometimes it's tough when you have a full building just absolutely giving it to you. I mean, it's human nature to give them an extra 5-6 calls.
Wow. Wow. Jamie asks, was it difficult to communicate? This gets back into that. Was it difficult to communicate on the ice, and what language do you speak? It's interesting where you lived. So as a team, were there rules? There used to be signs in locker rooms that English is, we respect where you're from, but for the sake of communication and everybody being on the same page, we're speaking English. Was there something like that over there?
Not really, just because the village I was in spoke primarily German, but everyone there spoke Italian, some better than others, and everyone spoke English. Our coach we had a Finnish coach who spoke English fairly well, so like the common language was English. He didn't speak Italian or German.
Okay.
So the common language was English, and it was funny because he would try to be funny and like make a joke, and the guys would have no clue.
Lost in the translation.
Yeah, they're just sitting there staring. There'd be like maybe 2 or 3 imports laughing or like looking around. Maybe that wasn't funny. So it was different for sure, but it was great. The locals did a really good job of making us feel comfortable, which is probably more than we did for the Europeans here. Like, hey, like English guys, come on. Or over there, they would make sure that we felt welcome.
So do you tend here, the Swedish guys stick together, the Finns stick together? Was it kind of the same over there? The North American guys stick together?
Well,
do you and your wife, are you able to make, when you're here, you make friends away from the game? Were you able to do that over there?
Yeah, it was tough as far as like non-teammates. Like our village was so small, I felt like we knew everyone. I felt like we had friends that we couldn't communicate with. I mean, we go to the vegetable market for our veggies, the butcher for our meat, like the bakery for the bread.
And you knew them all?
We knew everyone. I don't know their names. Right. I don't know what they're saying to me, but we knew them. We'd say hello or, like every day when we'd see them and they'd wave back. So I felt like we made a lot of friends, but it was different. As far as my teammates were concerned, it was a lot of guys drove in for practice, so they weren't living where we were living.
Okay.
But they were really good of always including us. Like, it's not like everywhere we went, like the imports were over here. And we would obviously like be together a lot because it was just easier to speak English.
Yeah.
And we were on the same kind of schedule.
How many games a week do you play, and then is it practice every other day?
Usually 2 games a week. We played Thursday, Saturday most times. It was funny. We played a couple Friday, Saturday, and guys were like, oh, back to back. It was shocking to me. Because I liked back to back. I usually felt better the second night for some reason.
Loosened up, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but it was funny. Like after Christmas, they play for a couple weeks. Play 3 games a week, and guys thought it was just a grind. Like, oh, there's 3 games this week.
So do you get Sunday off then and back to work Monday? Is that
Sunday
how it works?
off and then back to practice Monday? So we had a lot of practice.
Yeah.
A lot of practice.
Yeah. Emma on Facebook. While in Italy, what did you do outside of hockey?
Oh man, where we lived in the mountains, about an hour and a half south of Innsbruck, just to give you kind of where a bigger city where we're close to. So the skiing was great. I couldn't ski. My wife got to ski.
Contractually, you can't ski.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. But the mountains were amazing, beautiful. So skiing was big. Fortunately for me, which I thought was more dangerous, was they call it the natural luge. You sit on not a sled, like a little luge thing, and they have a trail. You
very
just zip
narrow
down.
and icy and.
Well, after a while it'll get icy. They'd have this fresh snow for you, and they'd make it if you know. But it was, I thought, more dangerous, and we had to do something more and more dangerous and stupid. So we'd go to the top and go down the ski, hill with the sled, which was 10 times more dangerous than skiing. But that was a great time. The side of the mountain was also just vineyards and apple orchards, so the wine was amazing.
You mentioned before about going to Barcelona during downtime and whatever. When you go, are you sightseers? Do you just sit at the beach? What do you do?
We try to do a little bit of everything. There's just so much to see, especially a place like Barcelona.
Right.
We rented bikes, me and my wife, which was awesome. It was a really bike-friendly city, so we zipped around. We had, my wife, Brittany, did a lot of research beforehand of best places to eat, places to see, as I just sat there and did nothing, uselessly. So we had great food. We like to eat, the local food, the local drink, and then go hang out at the beach in Barcelona. So, just trying to get a feel for, everyday life
like
there.
To be. We see those commercials now. Don't go there, live there, right?
Right.
Those commercials. You try to do that.
Yes, and the people if it was me, I would get sick of me. Of tourists. Yes, this guy only speaks English. Where all these people speak 3-4 languages. They can accommodate anyone.
Right.
I'm just clueless, useless over there speaking one language, but they're so patient and so nice. It really makes it easy and fun.
Very nice. Stephanie, at S.A. Geyer, I hope I'm 74 on Twitter. Any chance of playing in the U.S. again?
I don't know if I want to. It's nothing. I loved playing here.
Is it lifestyle? Is it?
I mean, I've been here all my life. I love home.
You played in the NHL?
Yeah. I've played against Rockford and Chicago 190 times each. I was just ready for something new, and now going over and playing in Italy, there's so many different cultures so close over there. It's so much fun to just get kind of thrown into one.
Well, speaking of that, is it public knowledge what you're doing next year?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm not sure people care.
Well, no, I think they do.
Going to Norway next year.
Yeah.
So I'm just researching the town Stavanger. It looks amazing. I've had good friends play there before who loved it. So I think just like that, kind of going from country to country, seeing different places, I think that's kind of too good to give up.
You and your wife are young enough. Let's go see the world, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Corey on an email asks, what do you still hope to accomplish in your career?
Well, I still think I want to get better.
Yeah.
I think I can still improve. I think there's a lot of room for improvement. But, I mean, people ask me this a lot, a couple more years? I don't know what it is, but I mean, no, 10.
Yeah,
15
right.
more.
Play as long as you can.
Why not? I feel
Absolutely.
great. We played 42 games over there this year in the regular season.
Yeah.
I was fresh in the playoffs. I felt like it was Christmas back home. Like, so I would like to do it as long as I can. My goal is to keep getting better every year. Like, I want to have a better year this year than I did last year.
So when you say that, do you want to go to, and this is nothing against the Italian league or the Norwegian league, but do you hope to go SEL, the Swedish SHL now, the Swedish hockey league, or the Deutsch league? Or
Sure,
something
yeah.
like
Like, I think it's the next challenge. Italy was challenging in its own way, and I think Norway's going to be a different kind of challenge. And hopefully I can get better. Hopefully we can win, and hopefully I can, maybe be there for another year or two, or move on to a different league. So the challenge is like keep improving, keep moving up. So
and see the world.
Yeah, not getting comfortable is kind of the goal. Is in your
You've always been that way, right?
I think so. Like once you've gotten comfortable, you're kind of on your way out.
Yeah.
If you don't, like if you continue to, push yourself and
need
not be satisfied.
There has to be a carrot.
Yeah, for sure. I think.
Tim, and by the way, if you're just joining us, we're talking with Admirals great Mark Van Gilder. Spent last year in Italy. Will play this next coming season in Norway. You leave awfully soon for that too. Training camp gets going real quick.
Like July 22nd or something, which is just I can't even. I gotta start packing. Like that's weeks away, which is pretty crazy. But I mean, guys
That's
here are just starting
guys.
to work out. Like
Right.
that, my buddies that are playing here are just getting back from the beach. So,
Right.
Yeah.
If you have a question, you can go to the Admirals Facebook page and type it in. Tim on Facebook asks, what is your secret? You've stayed relatively healthy in your playing career. What's the secret?
I think just preparation. I think summer. The harder you work in the summer, the more your body is prepared for the beating it's going to take in the winter.
Right.
So, and like been fortunate, like sometimes injuries just happen. So
A few years ago, you became a real conscientious diet guy as well.
Yeah.
And you thought you were pretty good, but you got better.
Yes. It's funny how you think you're eating well until you actually start eating well. I would say going to Italy kind of changed that a little bit. But the way I ate before I was kind of educated on, the right way to eat was kind of not embarrassing, but it just like the way my body feels now compared to what it did before I started eating healthy, it makes such a big difference.
Yep.
And you have more energy, you sleep better, and you can train better, and you just all around you can.
You bring up a good point there with sleep. You're riding a bus, or how do you get? I mean, it's a little different in Italy. Did you have any nights where you spent away from home in Italy?
I slept in my bed every single night.
Okay,
which was
so that
awesome.
certainly helps. Yes.
There was
one time you go to bed, let's say at midnight after winding down from the game roughly, and do you have to get up then at 6:30 to be at the rink at 8? Or
that's the great thing about Italy is we practiced in the evening.
Oh wow!
So
I probably close to a game schedule all the time.
I probably averaged 10 hours of sleep all year, which
every night.
Some of my teammates with kids absolutely hated me. But I was fortunate there. Like we had one trip over 3 hours. It was six and a half hours. So that was tough. Like you come back, like you can't just sleep all day, and then you go, you have practice or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it was definitely a challenge in Milwaukee playing the American League sleep because you play in Grand Rapids and then the next day you're playing in Milwaukee and
then you're in Des Moines for a 5 o'clock game.
Right, it's just like how can you possibly sleep? You just have to be smart.
Yeah.
And I can't sleep on the bus. Like I can't. Zero sleep on the bus.
Right,
so every chance I get, like napping and sleeping, because that makes a big difference.
Heather emails, what advice would you have for youth hockey players?
I would say, as you get older, like your friends are gonna do what's important to them. Like everyone's gonna do what they think is important, whether it's hanging out with friends, partying, whatever, video games. Like if hockey is important to you, then you're gonna spend your time working on that. Yep. I mean, of course, be a kid and hang out with your friends, have fun. Right. But to me, the difference in my career was seeing my friends at a young age that spent so much time stick handling, and you go to school and they'd call you out did you do your Cullen drills yesterday, or did you shoot or where were you? We played we're on tennis courts for hours. So we held each other accountable, which was great for me because it's much harder to do on your own. But I kind of learned from that group of friends that I wanted to do it, so it was up to me to put in the time to get in the garage, stick handle, get in the backyard.
I met a kid at Summerfest yesterday named Andrew. He was wearing a Roscoe shirt, and his dad asked him to tell me what his goal was, and he says he wants to be a professional backup goalie. So,
that is perfect.
Which was great, right?
That is perfect.
Which was great.
Yeah.
Steve on Facebook, you're from Minnesota. Are you involved with hockey at home at all?
I used to be when I was spending like all my when I was playing junior hockey and I was home all summer. I would coach hockey camps in Roseville in my hometown. I did a couple in International Falls way up north with a buddy, Ben Gordon. Did the Select 15s once in St. Cloud. Once I went to college, it's kind of tough we went to summer school and stuff like that. And then like as you get older, I spent a lot of my time here, since I met my wife in Milwaukee. So lately, not so much. But when I was younger, I spent a lot of time on the ice with kids, and even with my high school, with the high school guys.
When you were a kid, I'm sure you went to some high school games when you were young, right?
Oh yeah.
And those guys were your heroes.
Oh my gosh,
and it's
crazy.
amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
The high school hockey, it was wherever you go. But if you have a kid showing up, if you gave him a stick, and I don't know if that's allowed anymore, because you're not going to get three Montreal sticks at the sporting goods store for $15 anymore.
Yeah.
But that just changed this kid's life.
Oh yeah, full building Saturday night, like Roseville Arena, like Brett Hammond says hi to you after the game after scoring a game winner against White Bear Lake, and you're like, oh my gosh, like that's your goal at the time, and you're a kid, you're like, I want to play high school hockey for Roseville and score a big goal against Hill Murray or White Bear. So yeah.
Mike on Instagram, growing up, who was your favorite player? And part two, have you met them?
My favorite player when I was a kid, I had two: Teemu Solani, Pavel Bure.
Wow.
Which is interesting because they're both really fast, and I'm not. Great skaters, but I loved the Canucks, watching Bure, Mogilny, Trevor Linden, like all these guys.
You grew up at a time, though, your heyday, you were too young for the North Stars and probably too old for the Wild.
Yes. Yeah, I remember I skated, I think, at a North Stars game in between periods. I remember like watching Mike Badano play very vaguely, but I was pretty young. Yeah, and then I think I was in high school by the time the Wild showed up. So my teams were just kind of, you had
an allegiance elsewhere at the time.
Right. So when I was young, I loved the Canucks. I liked the Ducks with Korea and Solani.
Had you ever met these guys?
No.
Now, you had, a couple of years ago, you had a conduit with Brendan Leipzig, right? Do you realize that? Like, Brendan Leipzig and Teemu Solani were tight?
I did not know
You did not know that?
I can't believe you never, that is, I used to like him.
It's probably,
I used to like that guy.
It's probably something you guys don't, in the locker room, though, you probably don't say, hey, it's not a topic of conversation.
Does anyone here know Teemu Solani?
No, but who was your favorite player? So do you guys get into that?
Not a lot, actually.
Especially, you probably shouldn't in this league for fear that somebody will say the guy next to you.
Right.
Somebody say Brian McGrattan and he's two stalls down.
Right. It's actually funny. The closest I got to that was Matt Cullen.
Yeah.
I did his stick handling. I still do it. I did it from when I was a kid. I saw him doing it, like with his, I don't know.
His dad is a legendary coach.
Yeah, with his dad.
His family,
Right. So one of the preseason games, before I got called up and played that one game with Nashville, I was sitting there eating next to Matt Cullen, and I was just like, is this weird? Like, I asked him, I've been doing your stick handling video forever. You remember that?
You're trying to be cool,
Yeah, like I'm trying not to be a huge loser. But fortunately, he's one of the nicest guys alive. So he was awesome.
They didn't think he was going to play this year. He goes out and wins the Stanley Cup, and now it's the same thing. Right? That's just it.
Yeah,
and now he's probably going to play again this next year somewhere. That's pretty cool.
Right. So everyone do that stick handling.
Everybody do that stick handling deal. Yeah. Are you a Vikings fan? Asks Ryan.
Yeah. unfortunately.
Are you feeling good about the way things are going now? New stadium, new
Man,
attitude.
I've learned my lesson. I've learned to not feel good about
the Cubs fan of football.
Exactly, and it's tough because living here, like the Packers are like a fairy tale, like small town, like
Sure.
Aaron Rodgers.
Team is owned by the
they're always
community.
good. It's so annoying. It's so annoying, and the Vikings just can't win.
Do you go to Lambeau? Did you? Because a lot of the guys on the team would make treks to Lambeau.
I've never been to a game there. I've been there on just like a tour, but I've never actually been to a game there. It is freezing there in the winter.
Yeah.
So I like sitting on the couch watching football.
Yeah, I'm with
But
you.
my wife was actually not a diehard fan until she met me, and then all of a sudden she's a big Packer fan.
Oh, really?
And she has got all the.
You got to have some conflict.
Yeah.
You got to have something.
So.
John asks, "What's your favorite food to eat while traveling for hockey?" I don't know if that means.
Yeah. Well,
Yucky stuff,
now it's carbonara. Like the pasta in Italy was amazing.
Yeah.
The carbonara was my favorite.
Ham? What?
Yeah, it's like speck.
Okay.
It's like their bacon.
Okay.
With like an egg sauce on top of the pasta.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's so good.
So is that something you had to prepare, or is that the team sets out for you? Or is,
that
you
was
went
kind of
somewhere?
something we'd go somewhere, eat that. Me and my wife are pretty basic as far as cooking, but my wife did actually a great job at making. We had stir fry and stuff like that. Pretty simple, but really good. The food, everything's so fresh over there.
Yeah.
You just, you kind of throw anything together and it tastes good.
That's excellent.
So, yeah.
Aaron asks, what was your proudest moment playing hockey?
It's probably playing in the NHL. That's just, it's funny because hockey's hard to understand for a lot of people. Like a lot of football fans, like you're either in the NFL or you're basically not playing,
Right.
So even I have relatives, uncles that are saying, "When are you going pro?"
Right.
And I'd say, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So I think that playing even one game in the NHL just kind of validates your career.
Yeah.
In a way, and that's not everything. The guys can have a great career without playing in the NHL.
Right. Absolutely.
But to me, it was a great moment, especially playing with the guys that I watched.
Who was the first guy you lined up across from?
I changed on the fly. I remember my very first shift changing on the fly. But we played against
Washington,
Ovechkin,
right?
Backstrom, Mike Green was still there at the time. These guys were amazing.
Yeah.
So it was funny because I played for Lane in Milwaukee. And then that morning after the meetings, he pulls me aside. He's like, "Look, we're gonna do extra penalty kill video because Ovechkin has 21 power play goals right now, and you're gonna kill penalties tonight." It's like, "Are you sure I'm killing penalties tonight?" Are you sure?
All you need to do is stand at the right defensive circle.
Right.
That's all you need to just.
Right.
While he tees up the one timer, just
Right.
stand there. You're good.
And it was funny because that's what we did. We had a guy standing right next to Ovechkin. I was like, I don't want that job because if you have that job and somehow they get
score.
one to him and he rips one bar down, you're just gonna look like an idiot. How do you skate back to the bench
Right.
to your coach like that after the extra video? So thankfully,
Welcome to the NHL.
yeah. Thankfully, I was able quick ice it off out the ice. So yeah.
Jasper, you can make one line with you as the center. Who are your wingers?
Oh, that's a good one. It's funny because I'm not picking Solani and Bure because Bure played no defense whatsoever.
So you need a two-way line.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jonathan Toews is to me one of the best.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable, and to have a guy that talented and work that hard is kind of special.
Yeah, right.
So I would say him, and then Igor Larionov probably.
Wow.
Just one of the best passers
Yeah.
ever, and I grew up watching.
So your role
Really?
is?
My role is now, since I have the center
Because
position.
you're all centers.
Yeah, I'm moving to wing. I'm just gonna hang out, let Toews play center. I'm just gonna cruise around until he can get the puck to Larionov. Then I'm gonna go to the back door. I think that's my role is to not get in the way. So I think that'd be That'd be a pretty good 2/3 of life.
That's pretty good. Charlie has more off of Facebook here, right?
Yeah, we got some questions on Facebook and Twitter here for you, Mark. First one from Jake, not from State Farm. He asks, what's your favorite Marvel movie?
Oh,
Are you into those?
oh, that's funny because my brother-in-law Jake loves those. So, my favorite's probably Ant-Man.
Wow.
Just saw Ant-Man for the first time after my brother-in-law talked it up for a year and a half.
Yeah.
It was overseas. We came home. Me and my wife went over there, watched it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I liked it.
Have you seen Deadpool?
Haven't
we just
seen
saw
that
we
yet.
just saw
No.
Deadpool, and that was something. else.
Haven't seen it. Haven't seen it.
All right.
But
So-
I grew up when I was young. I loved like Spider-Man and Batman. So
Did you do comics?
Not a lot.
No.
Not a lot.
Okay.
But
So there's a follow-up question actually from me. What do you do on the bus in Italy? You got all these different languages,
Yeah.
all these
6.5
different
hour
cultures.
ride.
it's
Yeah.
funny. I did this on the bus. I sat in the front next to the bus driver because
You sat in the front.
I sat in the
Because
very front.
that's a very foreign concept to
Oh my
veteran
gosh.
players.
Yeah.
For people who don't know, in the American Hockey League at least, I'm sure
Yeah.
every other league,
Yeah.
the coach is up front if he has an assistant or the travel guy or the
Yeah.
trainer, but it's all staff up front.
Yeah.
The guys who have the most seniority as players are in the very back, and then
Yeah.
the rookies are closer to the coaches as a buffer.
Right. I think that's the same kind of general rule over there.
Mhm.
But my first trip, I was in the back. We went to Asiago, which is the whole way there through the mountains. I almost hurled on the ball.
Really?
I was dizzy the whole game. I was terrible. From then on, me and Andrew Angelage, our goalie, we sat right next to each other, right next to the bus driver the rest of the year. I sat there and I stared straight ahead, clutching the seat.
Yeah.
That's all I did in the
Remember,
bus.
there used to be those roundish theaters. The Omni Theater is one in St. Paul,
Yeah.
Minnesota. I'm sure they have one here actually over at in Milwaukee, right near where we are. The roundish theater. They used to say, if you stare at the ground is not going to
Yeah,
move, right?
yeah.
That was the big thing.
Yes.
But you had to see where you were going.
Yeah.
You can't take Dramamine probably.
Yeah. Here, I would read on the bus like all the time. Like, this is great. There's a terrible movie on I've seen 13
They're all
times.
terrible, yeah.
So I'm just gonna read, but it's just freeway, like straightforward.
Yep.
Over there, like it was
Up and
rough.
down hills,
Yeah,
and
up and
yeah.
down mountains all the time. So kind of rough.
Admirals President John Greenberg, who had just completed his session at the AHL meetings, he would like to know, two-part question, did you learn any good recipes in Italy, and did you see the Pope? Did he come to a game? I assume he did.
His schedule is a little busy. I think if we would have gone to Game 7, he was going to come. Pope Francis.
Drop the
We
ball.
actually yes to both. We had this pasta up the mountain, up my mountain, with this like garlic pasta that was unbelievable. That we ordered like as much as we could and tried to like write down what we thought was in it. That was one of the best meals we've had. We got to try a carbonara recipe too. And then after the season, me and my wife went to Rome and we actually saw a mass at St. Peter's Square. It was like Youth Jubilee, and the Pope was it was awesome.
And
he
he
was
led
amazing.
the mass.
Yes, we were just absolute rookies. We were going in like 5 days, and Brenia says, "Oh, the Pope's doing a mass," and to me, I'm like, okay, like, all right. People, little do I know, people have planned this trip for probably
Yeah,
years.
absolutely.
Went on pilgrimages there. Like,
Yeah.
we just show up, and we got there early, and we were like 15th row or something out St. Peter's Square,
So you-
80,000 people.
Do you understand what he's saying? Do they close caption it and put up different languages on screens so
no.
people can follow along? or-
No clue what he said.
Yeah.
But actually, the funny thing about that is you can still kind of get a feel. Italian's not as hard as German. Like you can pick
It's
up.
very close to Spanish, right?
You can pick some things up, but they didn't have there was no translating or anything like that. But just like his presence alone, like just the humility and the character, like it was crazy. And the best part to me, everyone's like obviously trying to get close and get a picture of him.
Right.
The best part to me was the other priests scrambling to try to say hi
Oh,
and touch
sure.
him. And he gave everyone time. It was amazing. The
Jim-
guy's patience was...
The comedian
Yeah.
Jim Gaffigan, I just heard him say he opened for the Pope, I think in Philadelphia or something like that, and he came on to do 10 minutes, and then the Pope, and it might have been Pope Benedict, maybe it was Pope Francis, but the Pope was coming up, and he said, my joke was, okay, I'm only going to do 10 minutes, but I want to make sure you all stick around for the Pope. Like nobody was there to see him,
Right,
obviously. And he said the joke
Oh,
was
that's
lost
awesome.
on 200,000 people. They had no idea what he was
Just
talking
silence.
about. Yeah.
That's hilarious, but yeah.
Any others?
A few more here. This is a comment, but I'll follow up with a question. Sam on YouTube actually he wants to tell you awesome shirt.
Oh.
And so my follow-up question is, first of all, you're from Minnesota.
Mhm.
Prince passed away while you're over there.
Yeah.
So tell us who the best guitarist of all time is,
Oh, boy.
and are you still playing the guitar? Did you bring a guitar over to Italy?
I didn't. I was fortunate enough to have a teammate over there who had 2 guitars and 2 kids. So he hadn't played either of them. So I was able to play the guitar over there. Man, I'm a huge Led Zeppelin fan. So Jimmy Page would be, pretty
How come
high.
they're not getting back together? Paige really wants them to, right? Have you followed this?
Yeah, I've heard, not closely, but I've heard things, yeah.
Plant
I'm
doesn't
not-
want to do it.
Yeah,
Do you
I've
think
heard.
he's just afraid that he wouldn't live up to what he did in the 70s?
Yeah, I don't blame him. Like maybe his voice isn't in shape.
Yeah.
I don't blame the guy at all
Yeah.
for wanting to just
Would
hang
you
out.
want to see it? It's 3/4.
Well, of
They'd probably get
course.
Bonham's
Yeah.
kid on the drums.
I mean, yeah, I would. And there's the documentary, Mike It Louder.
Yeah.
What's that? Is that what it's called?
With him and Jack White
Yeah.
and The Edge.
That was awesome.
It's incredible.
That was awesome. So if you like the guitar, I'm not at all musically gifted, but I just enjoy listening to like talented people.
Mhm.
So that documentary was awesome. I also really like John Mayer when he's not playing his music. I like his stuff's good. Like I like his
He's
music.
touring with the Dead all the
But
time
he is
now.
really
He's
talented.
a talented
like,
guitarist.
like blues and like
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. He's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
So Clapton as well. So
Back
Maybe
there,
another one back
intern
there.
Brian's got a question.
Yes, Noah has a question from Facebook. It says, if you could come back to Milwaukee and bring one player from Italy, who would it be?
oh man,
Pavel
that's a
Bure lives
good
in Italy.
question. I had some teammates that you'll have not heard of, but you can look them up. One of my line mates, Simone Kostner, who plays a little bit on the national team there, the hardest working player, the fastest, like little guy.
And he's an Italian?
Yeah, he's an
native?
Italian from Gardena,
Okay.
just like over the valley, the next mountain over. Unbelievable winger, like worked so hard. Like I hardly backchecked all year because he would just fly past me and take care of. Like he was the guy that would take care of everything. So I would bring back Simone Kostner with me because he made my life really easy. Also, our captain, one of these two, Christian Borgatello, who was actually close to playing at Maine University. Things fell through. Just a great player, awesome person, great leader, fun to be around, funny guy. A guy that runs the power play and also leads your team in block shots. Like, he was an awesome player. So, probably most people haven't heard of him, but unfortunate because if they were over here, I think everyone would have heard of them. They're awesome players. So.
That's all we
it?
got. That's all
right.
from the gallery.
Well, what do we do here? We said with 30 minutes, we're at about 52. We figured we'd go a lot longer, I guess. So
No problem.
It's good to see you, buddy.
Yeah,
All
it's
the
good
best to
being
you
back
and
here.
your wife, and
Thank you.
and safe travels over to Norway. That's going to be really cool.
Can't wait.
Yeah, looking forward
Thanks,
to
Aaron.
it. That's Mark Van Gilder. Thank you for watching here this morning into the afternoon on MilwaukeeAdmirals.com.